What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, there's a 1 in 7 chance that you have a disease that could be silently damaging your body, yet you have absolutely no idea? I'm Dr. Hashmi, a board-certified nephrologist and obesity medicine specialist. And today, we're talking about chronic kidney disease, the condition affecting 35.5 million Americans that 90% of people don't even know they have. Here's what's truly shocking. Your kidney function, measured by something called eGFR, is actually a better predictor of how long you live than many traditional health markers. And yet, most people have never even heard of it. What this 6-part series will give you is everything you need to know about protecting organs that work 24/7 to keep you alive. Why kidney protection optimizes longevity and quality of life in ways you and most others never realize. The fundamentals, what kidney disease is, and why it's called the silent epidemic. And finally, 5 remarkable ways your kidneys keep you healthy every single day. First, I need to ask you something. Have you ever had your kidney function tested? And if so, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you haven't, watch this video so you understand if you should get it tested. Now, here's exactly what we're covering today. We're going to talk about the silent crisis and how it affects over 673 million people worldwide, and most people don't even know they have it. We'll go beyond filtering. We'll talk about those 5 incredibly important jobs your kidneys do that most people have never even learned about. We'll talk about the most important tests that save lives. And there's only 2 simple tests that are incredibly important at detecting problems 5 to 10 years before symptoms ever stop. And then we'll end with your action plan, practical steps you can start to take today to protect your kidney health. Let me paint a picture for you of just how massive this problem really is. The staggering global impact: 8 to 16% of the global population is affected. 673.7 million people worldwide living with this condition as of 2021. And what's really scary is that those numbers have actually doubled since 1990. But even more so than that, here's the part that keeps me up at night as a nephrologist. Less than 5 to 10% of the people with kidney disease are aware that they have it. So think about that for a moment. We have nearly 700 million people walking around with a progressive disease that can lead to heart attacks, strokes, and kidney failure, and they have absolutely no idea. And why is this happening? The answer lies in how kidney disease works. Unlike a broken bone or a heart attack, early kidney disease doesn't hurt. Your kidneys are incredibly resilient. In fact, they can lose up to 50% of the kidney function before you feel anything is wrong. It's kind of like having a car where the engine light doesn't turn on until you've already lost most of your horsepower. This is why we call it the silent epidemic. It progresses without symptoms, without pain, without obvious warning signs until it reaches advanced states where treatment options become much more limited. And who's at the highest risk? Well, the statistics reveal concerning patterns everyone needs to understand. Age creates vulnerability. 34% of people over 65 have kidney disease, and only 6% of adults aged 18 to 44 are affected. Now, this isn't just natural aging. There's actually accumulated damage from other conditions over time. And then you take things like diabetes. Diabetes creates devastating risk. 1 in 3 adults with diabetes develop kidney disease. And high blood sugar acts like a sandpaper on kidney filters. It gradually wears them down over years. Then there's blood pressure, which becomes a silent destroyer. 1 in 5 people with high blood pressure have kidney damage because high blood pressure forces blood through delicate vessels with damaging force, and this leads to scarring and damage over time. And there are also very significant racial disparities that reveal systemic problems. So non-Hispanic Black adults, they have a 4 times higher risk of kidney failure versus white Americans. Hispanic Americans have twice the risk. And then, of course, there's complex causes. There are genetics, there's healthcare access, and there's socioeconomic factors. And what you find is higher diabetes and hypertension rates in folks who are in a lower socioeconomic class or have limited access to healthcare. Now, these weren't just numbers. I want to stress this because they represent millions of missed opportunities for early intervention. Because here's what we know from decades of research: when we catch kidney disease early, we can often slow or even stop its progression. And in some cases, we can reverse some of it. Now, you want to understand your kidneys are metabolic powerhouses. Most people think kidneys just make urine, but that's like saying your smartphone just makes calls. Your kidneys are sophisticated multitasking organs performing 5 critical functions every second of every day. Function number one: ultra sophisticated filtration. So imagine the most advanced water purification system ever created, then multiply its complexity by 1,000. The incredible filtration facts that you really want to understand. Number one is that your kidneys filter approximately 180 liters of blood daily. That's actually enough to fill a standard bathtub. And number two is they process your entire blood supply over 30 times each day. And they do this by working through structures called glomeruli. Think of glomeruli as incredibly selective, sophisticated bouncers at an exclusive club. They let small waste products like urea and creatinine pass through into the urine, but they keep essential substances like proteins and red blood cells in your bloodstream where they belong. So when kidney disease develops, these bouncers become less selective and they allow valuable proteins to leak out while waste products build up. Now, normally, this filtration process is so precise that it can distinguish between molecules that differ by just a few atoms. It's kind of like having a security system in your body that can tell the difference between you had two identical twins. It could tell them apart based on just the smallest details. Function number two: blood pressure control system. Your kidneys operate like having a smart thermostat for your circulation through something called the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAS. How blood pressure control works: when your blood pressure drops, specialized cells in your kidneys act like sensors. They detect this change and release an enzyme called renin. This starts this carefully orchestrated cascade. So renin converts a liver protein into angiotensin 1, which then becomes the powerful hormone angiotensin 2 in your lungs. Angiotensin 2 is like this master switch. It's doing two things simultaneously. One, it constricts your blood vessels like tightening a Gordon hose to increase water pressure. And number two, it signals your adrenal glands to release aldosterone, which tells your kidneys to hold on to salt and water, increasing your blood volume. So together, these actions raise blood pressure. Now, in kidney disease, the system can malfunction. It can be overactive, leading to high blood pressure, which can then further damage the kidneys. And this creates a vicious cycle, which leads to further kidney disease progression. So understanding the RAS system helps us target treatments like ACE inhibitors and other treatments, which we're going to talk about in the next several episodes. Function number three is red blood cell production from it. So here's something that surprises most people. Your kidneys are actually hormone-producing glands. The red blood cell production process. Kidneys, they manufacture something called erythropoietin, also called EPO, EPO. This is the same hormone that athletes sometimes abuse for performance enhancement. EPO travels to bone marrow saying, we need more red blood cells. And remember, red blood cells are your body's oxygen delivery trucks. When your kidney function declines, EPO production drops, and this leads to anemia. This is why fatigue is one of the first symptoms people notice with kidney disease. When you don't have enough red blood cells carrying oxygen, every activity becomes more exhausting. It's like trying to run your entire body on a reduced oxygen supply. Function number four, your bone health guardian. Your kidneys perform a crucial step in vitamin D activation. The vitamin D activation process you want to understand is that you get vitamin D from sunshine or supplements in its inactive form. Then the kidneys convert it into calcitriol, which is the active form. And the active vitamin D, it helps intestines absorb calcium. Remember, calcium then goes to your bones, keeps your bones strong and healthy. But when kidney disease impairs this process, you can develop bone disease, mineral imbalances, and increased fracture risk. This is why people with kidney disease often need special forms of vitamin D supplementation. Without properly functioning kidneys, even adequate vitamin D intake won't protect your bones. And that's why we often need the active form of vitamin D, which comes as a prescription. Function number 5, pH balance specialist. Your body's countless chemical reactions only work properly within a very narrow pH range between 7.35 and 7.45. Think of this like the precise temperature needed for baking bread. Too far off in either direction and everything falls apart. And how do your kidneys maintain this pH balance? Well, they remove excess acids from your blood. They regenerate bicarbonate, which acts as a buffer. And when this fails, the blood becomes too acidic. We call that metabolic acidosis. And what's the consequence? It worsens bone disease, causes muscle breakdown, and accelerates kidney disease progression. So, what's the cascade effect that happens when your kidneys fail? Well, when these vital kidney functions falter due to disease, you experience an entire cascade of problems. You have fatigue from anemia or low EPO. You get swelling from fluid imbalance. You get high blood pressure from RAS dysfunction. You get bone issues from impaired vitamin D activation. And then you get metabolic problems from acid base disturbances. And this is why protecting your kidneys is fundamental, not just to your kidney health, but to your overall health, well-being, and longevity. Now, let's dive into the tests that could save your life. Because early kidney disease is so often silent, testing becomes absolutely critical. Now, fortunately, there are 2 simple tests that can detect problems years before symptoms appear. Test number 1 is your estimated glomerular filtration rate, or eGFR. Now, this blood test measures your creatinine level, which is a waste product from normal muscle activity. Using your creatinine, along with your age and sex, we calculate your eGFR, which tells us how your kidneys are filtering. Think of your eGFR as a percentage of remaining kidney function. Above 90 is normal kidney function, if of course there's no other damage signs. 60 to 89 is mild decrease, and it's concerning if there's protein in the urine present. 45 to 59 is moderate decrease. We call that stage 3A kidney disease. 30 to 44 is moderate to severe decrease. We call that stage 15 to 29 is severe decrease. That's stage 4. And finally, below 15 is essentially kidney failure, stage 5. And you may or may not need to start dialysis when you're lower than 15, depending on what your labs are, what your symptoms are, and so on. But the bottom line here is understanding your eGFR is like knowing your credit score. It gives you a clear number that represents your kidney health status and helps you track changes over time. Test number 2 is the urine albumin to creatinine ratio, or UACR, is how you might see it on your lab test. This simple urine test checks for albumin, which is a specific protein that shouldn't be in your urine in significant amounts. So healthy kidney filters are excellent at keeping albumin in your bloodstream where it belongs. The key facts you want to know about urine albumin creatinine ratio is 1, a urine albumin creatinine ratio of 30 milligrams per gram or higher is a kidney damage indicator. And it detects damage even if the eGFR is still normal. And the thing about this is you can detect problems 5 to 10 years before the eGFR ever declines. And so it provides this crucial intervention window. So think of your urine albumin to creatinine ratio as an early warning system. It's like smoke detectors that alert you to fire before you see the flames. Why both tests matter? These tests, they provide complementary information. eGFR is function. is how well your kidneys are working right now. But a urine albumin creatinine ratio is damaged. It tells whether filters are becoming leaky. So you can have early damage with normal function, in other words, abnormal urine albumin creatinine ratio, but a normal eGFR, especially in diabetes related kidney disease. And this is why both tests are essential for complete kidney health assessment. So, who needs testing? Essential for anyone with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, or a family history of kidney disease. And if you fall into any of these high risk categories, you should be getting both tests annually. And here's the empowering part. Knowing your numbers transforms you from a passive recipient of healthcare into an active participant. It gives us hope. It gives you hope. You can track these numbers over time. You can understand the impact of lifestyle changes, of the self principle, and have more informed decisions with your healthcare team. So let's dive in to your kidney protection action plan. One is get tested proactively. Listen, don't wait for your doctor to suggest it. At your next appointment, request both eGFR, which is a blood test, and the urine albumin creatinine ratio urine test if you have any of the risk. Many people assume that these are included in routine blood work. They are often not unless you ask. Number two is know your numbers. Learn your kidney numbers like you know your blood pressure or cholesterol. Target goals is eGFR above 90 and a urine albumin creatinine ratio below 30 milligrams per gram. Write them down, track them over time. Number three is track trends, not just single values. A single value snapshot that can be altered by so many things, but number changes over time tell you the real story. And if those numbers are relatively stable, kind of like small waves in the ocean, that's great news. Declining trends, on the other hand, though, they need immediate attention and they need intervention. Next is share this knowledge. Tell everybody you know, at least 3 people, about kidney disease awareness. Many at risk people have never even heard of these tests, and you could literally be saving someone's life and for yourself and others, address risk factors, diabetes. Work with your doctor to manage blood sugar levels. We have an entire primer coming up on how to manage diabetes, high blood pressure. Take steps to control it. Lifestyle, maintain a healthy weight. Eat a plant predominant diet and don't smoke and really don't drink alcohol. So, to summarize all of this, here's today's key kidney protection insights for you. The silent crisis reality. Look, there's 673.7 million worldwide that are affected, and 90% of those don't know it. Early stages are completely silent. There are no symptoms until advanced damage. Remember that your kidneys are powerhouses. There are 5 critical functions: filtration, blood pressure control, which is the RAS system, red blood cell production, which is EPO, vitamin D activation, and pH balance. When these fail, cascading problems throughout your entire body occur. Number 3 is the life-saving tests available. eGFR and urine albumin creatinine ratio can detect problems 5 to 10 years before symptoms, and they can provide a precious intervention window. Remember, eGFR is actually the strongest predictor of your overall mortality or how long you're going to live. But here's what might even shock you more. Your morning routine might be slowly destroying your kidneys, and you may have absolutely no idea that it's happened. So look out for part 2, because in part 2, we're going to talk about what's destroying your kidneys. What we're going to look at is the 2 big kidney destroyers that cause over 2/3 of all cases. We're going to go into depth into hierarchy of kidney threats, right from most to least dangerous. We'll cover which risk factors you control and which you can't. And the shocking reveal, number 3 on our danger list, will actually be quite a surprise. Something most people think is healthy, but it's not. And then we'll get into something a little bit counterintuitive in that there's a common kitchen ingredient most doctors never mention. Research shows it protects against specific kidney damage. So look out for part 2 coming right up. I want to thank you guys so much for checking out part one. Listen, if you like this, if you found this to be helpful, please hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit that share button. Definitely share it with someone you think might get value out of this. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, please do so. We'll make sure you hear about part two. And finally, don't forget, life is very, very short. And more so than anything else, please practice kindness and gratitude. Practice kindness to others and practice kindness to yourself by taking care of the body that we have, taking care of the kidneys we have. This is the only body we got. So, with that, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see everyone next time.